Hello, my name is Harnik here. I'm welcoming you to my quest for medical quizzes. These medical quizzes for the respiratory students, nursing students, as well as medical students or whosoever want to mm, understand. So the first quiz we will start today is a healthy young adult man from Long Beach gone to a high mountain which is about 10,000 feet high for 2 weeks. On his return to Long Beach, which is at sea level, by airplane, his ABG test done, soon he landed at the airport. Now, please explain the result. What kind of blood gases will be? To understand that, we have to go step by step. Okay. Uh, let's start with the step one. Step one is at sea level. At sea level, if you look at the ABG of a young healthy person, it should be, pH should be 7.40. That is absolute normal, healthy young adult person. The normal ABG, absolute normal, 7.40. So let's write down ABG pH 7.40, PCO2 40, PaO2 100, 40 millimeter of mercury. Okay, and bicarb is 24 milli equivalent per liter, and bases are 0. This is absolute normal. This is absolute normal ABG result we will have. Okay? So let's take this thing out and see why is that normal and how we calculate further. At sea level, the barometric pressure is 760 millimeter of mercury. Now, when person is inspiring oxygen, that is called PiO2, which is the pressure of inspired oxygen. Okay, how you find that? There is a formula which is called barometric pressure minus water pressure multiplied by FiO2. Okay. Now, to find out 760, vapor pressure is 47, multiplied by 0.21. That's how much is the oxygen level. It's less than 0.21, but we round figure to 0.21 or 21% oxygen. So if you calculate that, that will come 150 torr or millimeter of mercury. That's how much is the pressure of inspired oxygen at the nostrils when we breathe in around us. Okay? So this, when we are breathing, let me go over. Now when PiO2 150 torr or millimeter of mercury, when it's going into the lungs, this may reduce to 100. At sea level, we're talking still at sea level, because of there are so many barriers. So barrier causes to decrease the oxygen level in the blood. That is normal. So this is absolute normal blood gas result for the oxygen. Now, step 2, we can talk about at high altitude. At 10,000 feet, the barometric pressure is generally about 540, let's make it 47 millimeter of mercury. And the water pressure will be the same, 47 millimeter of mercury. And let's find out the PiO2 now, the same way we did at sea level. So the formula was 5 PB, that is barometric pressure minus pH2O multiplied by FiO2. So barometric pressure is now in this case is 547 minus 47 water pressure multiplied by 21, because percentage of oxygen will not change, but the pressure will change now. And the PiO2 will be approximately about 105, if you calculate that, approximately. Okay? That was normal. This is what is at altitude the pressure of oxygen, but when we were at sea level, this was in the blood. So now this has to cross some barriers, which will be what, 50 milligram, without 50 millimeter of mercury. Okay? So how much will be the pressure of oxygen left in the blood then? It will reach to the blood somewhere between 55. If the PaO2 now, this is a PaO2 in the blood, 55 left, because we subtracted 50 millimeter of mercury, the pressure of oxygen will be reduced because of the barriers. Remember we talked about in healthy also, and when we go up on the mountain, it's going to be the same. So we take out from 105, that's the pressure of oxygen at this altitude, and we subtract the 50 That is because of the barriers. It reduced to 55 PaO2. Now, if the PaO2 is 55 now in the blood at this altitude, soon he reach, what happens to our respiration? Body thinks there is something wrong, lungs are not receiving enough oxygen, so due to this, respiratory rate will increase. When the respiratory rate increase, what happened to the CO2? This will cause CO2 to decrease. So at this point, person is hyperventilating. Number two, patient is getting respiratory alkalosis. Okay. Let me write again, it's not clear. Hyperventilating. Causing respiratory alkalosis. How do we compensate now? Person is going to stay there for 2 weeks, right? For 2 weeks staying, something, other organ has to start functioning to reduce the breathing pattern, to change the alkalosis. So what is the organ? That will be kidney. Kidney will start excreting bicarb. Right? So now this is 55. Bicarb start going down. PaCO2 is low. And pH maybe try to compensate. Okay. So situation is now bicarb is decreasing. PaCO2 decreased or trying to So bicarb is decreased. PaO2 still low. PaCO2 is still low. Or try to normal. PaO2 may increase a little bit, and pH is still and trying to get to normal, close to normal, because of the bicarb and PaCO2. Okay? Now, the person is going to come to sea level. So what was at the sea level, the pressure of oxygen? PiO2 was 150 millimeter of mercury. What happened to the respiratory rate now? If before it was 55 PaO2, now it is PiO2 is 150 and PaO2 probably go back to 100, and the body think, oh, I'm getting too much oxygen, I don't need to breathe. So respiration decrease. When respiration decrease, and what happened to the PaCO2? It will increase. And what happened to the pH? When PaCO2 increase, the pH decrease. When bicarb decrease, pH decrease. So pH will decrease. Bicarb is already decreased. The result will be, because pH is low now, it will be combined respiratory metabolic acidemia or acidosis. Nobody did anything. No, the person is not sick. Person may feel little dizzy or headache when he came down from landed at the airport, and but that is temporary. It will go away. So the person's blood change from higher altitude to lower altitude, from lower altitude to higher altitude. So that is, understanding is, when you are going up on the mountain, high altitude, you do not go all of a sudden. You have to. That's why when people are trying to climb the Mount Everest, they go in steps. They camp somewhere, and then they go and they accommodate their body, and then they go further. Same thing when they come down, they do the same thing, step by step, coming down. Okay, so to accommodate body and to customize the body according to the altitude. That's all I have today. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate for your listening to me.